Okay, so diet and lifestyle choices, continuing looking at the diet and lifestyle choices, exercise. Okay, exercise is incredibly important. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of reasons why. The first reason why that I want to talk about for you is really to do with your liver. And we're going to talk about liver loading and how liver loading then affects your hormonal balance. But one of the roles of the liver, it's organ of detoxification, but one of the roles of the liver is to stabilize your blood sugar levels and to stabilize the fats in your blood. But what happens in the modern world is that our livers get full. They get so full of glycogen, which is stored sugar, and so full of fats that they can no longer buffer the fats and sugars that you're eating. And so what then happens is when you do eat, your blood sugar levels, fats and sugars go too high. All right? So what we want to do is create some space in your liver. And the best way to create space in your liver is to exercise. It's because when you exercise, your body's going to use the sugars and fats in the blood, and then your liver will release some sugars and fats to buffer the levels in your blood. So then you get a little bit of space in your liver, so the next time you eat, you've actually got a little bit of room to buffer. Okay? And so exercise really helps dump out the fats and stored sugars within the liver, which gives us this buffer system. So to help you, another reason to sort of exercise, I suppose, is I also want to explain to you something around a system called the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a system that runs parallel to your circulatory system regarding your arteries, but it doesn't carry blood, it carries lymphatic fluid. But the lymphatic system doesn't have a heart to pump the fluid. It relies on the muscles and the movement of the muscles to pump the fluid around. Now, the lymphatic system, one of its roles is to take the toxins away from your cells and drain them into your organs of detoxification. So your lymphatic system basically detoxifies your cells. So I want to paint this picture for you. So if you've been sitting at your desk for 4 hours without moving, you're basically sitting in a pool of your own metabolic waste. If that isn't motivation enough to get up and go for a walk, I don't know what is, okay? So I'm a huge fan of like standing desks. I'm a huge fan of getting up and moving as much as possible. You've got to be, particularly the soleus pump, particularly moving this muscle here, okay, calf muscle, okay, pumps the lymphatic fluid. So this is, going for a walk at lunchtime. Now, the main thing regarding I'm sure you all know how important exercise is. And if you're not exercising right now, just starting with like 30 minutes a day walking is going to be fantastic for you. All right? But for some of you, I know you're already exercising really well. And the one thing I want to say about that is the biggest mistake I see in women is exercising like men. Okay? Is the males, they're a Toyota Hilux. Right? They like doing hard work. They're at their best when they're doing hard work, lifting weights explosively and doing all those things. Whereas women's hormonal systems don't really like that. And let me explain why. And this is it's like a little bit of a roundabout explanation, but when you start looking at stress within your body's only got one response to stress. So it doesn't matter whether the stress is mental, emotional, physiological, your body's only got one response to stress, which is a stress hormone called cortisol. Now, there's an evolutionary theory that one of the biggest long-term stresses we've faced in getting here was starvation and famine. And so I certainly believe in this theory that and I've seen it so many times, is that when you stress, particularly women's bodies, because they've got a lot of lipogenic fat cells. And lipogenic fat cells are a specialized fat cell that hold on to and store energy for reproduction. All right? And so anytime you stress your body can't tell the difference and thinks it's a famine. And so because it thinks it's a famine, it then goes and stores the food you're eating. And so I've seen it so many times that with exercising, women will exercise more and put on weight. Okay? And the reason being is because the stress of the exercise is too much. It's too much stress. So we've got to balance the stresses in your life as much as possible. So the biggest mistake I see women making with exercise is that there's too much of a stress on their body. And so what I'd recommend with exercise is, if you're a sort of person that likes doing hardcore exercise, is then move to like a hardcore yoga, like Ashtanga yoga, okay, which is a very, very difficult forms of yoga. So I'd recommend like moving away from really thrashing yourself at the gym and doing like boxing classes every day, and drop the boxing classes down to just twice a week, and then go do a hardcore yoga. If you're of the sort of person that likes that hardcore stuff, or or even go and do some hatha yoga, so more of a relaxing type yoga, breathing based, still very difficult. Okay, and you're going to find that your bodies will respond better to that. That you'll be able to balance your hormones better by doing that. You're going to be able to lose body fat. The side effect of balancing your hormones is going to be weight loss for many of you. Okay, that's going to be the sort of like the thing that for many of you, it's going to be the measurable that's going to come out. Okay, so does that make sense? The exercise side, it's just you've got to balance your autonomic nervous system, balance the stresses in your life, and that's going to really help. All right, good.